Hey, Otto. So with this essay, the question of, a two-part question. Do copyright laws limit or encourage creativity, and would society function better without such rules? So, I think we need to add a little bit more to your intro and conclusion just to answer that second part of the question. So one sec, let's have a look. So in the modern world, new products are being invented regularly, and copyright laws are, I don't like the word very, it's just not necessary, are important to protect inventors' benefits. I believe copyright laws will not limit creativity, but instead encourage more new inventions, and as such, promote a functional and I'm stuck for words. A functional and imaginative society. In this essay, I shall discuss this topic by using arguments such as company investments and copyright infringements to demonstrate points. Cool. So yeah, we're making sure that we answer that second part of the question. Would society function better without such rules? Firstly, companies spend a considerable amount of resources on things, on creating new products. Copyright laws provide confidence for them to invest time and money into the country by ensuring that other parties must have their permission to use their inventions. In other words, the research and development cost of the original inventors is well protected by the law. For instance, statistics from the US government show that over $1 billion were paid to the patent owners in the States in the last decade. $1 billion of royalties. When we receive payments regarding proceeds from things that we have made, they are called royalties. Over $1 billion of royalties were paid to patent owners in the we should say the United States, really, in the last decade. Therefore, copyright laws are essential for rewarding. We don't reward inventions. We reward inventors, or rewarding inventors for their creations or their work. Or even better, for their labour. We all expect to be compensated for our labour. Nobody expects to work for free. So even inventors and creative types, they depend on copyright law to ensure they are rewarded for their labour. On the contrary, if governments do not enforce copyright rules, there's a good opportunity here to use the subjunctive mood. I don't know whether you are aware of this yet, but the English subjunctive mood is used to express hypothetical situations. So if you're saying something like, if governments did not enforce copyright rules, we could do it like this. If governments were not to, so expressing a hypothetical situation, let me show you. Normally, the pronoun I would be coupled with the past tense to be was. I was skiing. I was hired. But if we want to say, we're not talking about the past and we want to talk about a hypothetical situation that may occur in the future, we would not say, if I was to be hired, or if I was to go skiing. We would instead say, if I were to be hired. We switch the singular to be past tense was to the plural were. If I were to go skiing. So this is how we construct a hypothetical scenario. It also applies to plural statements. So here you have governments. But even if we said, if a government, we would not say if a government was not to enforce copyright laws. We would say if a government were not to enforce copyright laws. This is a very advanced grammatical rule, which, if you have the opportunity to use it appropriately, will win you a lot of points. I'm going to leave this as plural because it makes more sense. If governments were not to enforce copyright rules, inventions would. So now we must use the conditional because we're talking about something that's hypothetical in the future. Inventions would be cloned and sold. We can just say would be cloned and sold at a much lower price. The rewards for inventors are not justified. Wait. So are we still talking about a future hypothetical? One sec. So you do believe that society functions better with copyright regulations. So we still need, we're talking in the present here, when we've started the paragraph with a conditional in the future. So let's keep this future conditional. So if governments in the future were not to enforce copyright laws, the rewards for inventors would no longer be, I'm not sure justified is the right word either. Sufficient. And once again, it is hardly surprising that they would suffer financially. As a result, the number of new inventions may decrease, and society may pay the price. Another way of talking about a hypothetical, should copyright regulations go unenforced. Should copyright regulations go unenforced? It refers to a future hypothetical scenario in which copyright regulations are not enforced. For example, a study from Harvard University shows that the number of new inventions from countries with copyright laws are more than tripled when compared to their counterparts. Cool. Therefore, I truly believe that our society functions better under the protection of copyright regulations. Fine. In conclusion, copyright laws promote creativity by protecting inventors' benefits. As long as these regulations are present, there are incentives for investing in new creations. As a result, I strongly believe that they are necessary for an innovative society, and that it would function poorly without such rules. I just want to make absolutely sure that in your intro and conclusion, you've answered this here, but in the intro and conclusion we should answer the main questions in their entirety. But now we have a grand old essay. Nice one. So here, we do not need to capitalise sir or madam. We only capitalise names. Titles, we do not. I am writing in response to the request of okay, I'm writing in response to the request of the examinations committee to explain my absence from the examination on the 28th of March 2017. My name is Mary Chan and my student number is blah. We should start a little bit down here. Unfortunately, on the morning of the exam, I came down with, this is to talk about contracting an illness. I came down with flu and a high fever. Well, we don't need this again, because I've just put on the morning of the exam, but either would have been good, actually. I have a sick day approval letter from the doctor for 1 day, but unfortunately I was not fully recovered on the next day and was still experiencing a considerable fever. I decided not to attend the examination to prevent the possibility of infecting other students. Nice. I am truly sorry about the situation. Because you've already explained this above, we don't really need that explanation again. I'm truly sorry about the situation, but I can provide the sick note from the 27th of March 2017, if that helps. As this is something unpredictable, please kindly consider allowing me to reschedule the examination. I'm also open to other projects, to other options such as special project or a special project or essays if re-examination is not possible. I'm looking forward to hearing about my case from you soon. Yours faithfully, Mary. Good. Only minor corrections necessary there, and you did cover all of the question in that letter. So pay close attention to things like the small mistakes. I actually think there should be a comma there as well. But in IELTS, in order to score a band 7, you have to produce frequent error-free sentences. So in these letters, there are very few sentences. So it's very, very easy to not score a band 7 in grammar because, let's say, half of your sentences contained errors. So the key thing about scoring a high score in grammar is to reduce errors to as few as possible. So keep paying attention to the small grammatical corrections as well as the larger comments. But I'll send these over to you now. Have a great day, Otto, and I will look forward to your next pieces of work.